One of the most famous fighters of his generation fighting in one of the famous stadiums in the world. Can you imagine being AJ right now? A lot of pressure too, though. Don't get it twisted. You've got to perform in front of 96,000 of your closest friends.
But Mamma Mia, Rosie, a social media sensation turned boxer, has turned the sport. Here, this is incredible. And what must be going through this 27-year-old mind, like so many members of his generation, dealing with mental health issues? Here we go.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua has ignited one of the loudest debates in modern boxing, and here's the shocking truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most pros see this matchup as a mountain Jake simply can't climb. Joshua's Olympic pedigree, ruthless knockout power, and years of elite heavyweight experience give him a terrifying edge from the opening bell. Yes, Jake has improved and beaten MMA names, but he's never stood across from a true world-class heavyweight predator. Analysts say his only hope is landing a miracle shot early, but Joshua's discipline, jab, and ring IQ would smother that chance fast, leading many to predict a brutal, one-sided stoppage within minutes.
Nikita, few times on it. I mean, there's nothing to report to you that it's close or, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. Of course, AJ is exclusive to the zone. We also work very closely with His Excellency, and although we have no contract with him, we're in talks for big fights next year, of course, Tyson Fury being one of them. So we'd definitely give him the respect of making sure that he was aware of the plan and, part of that plan as well. But at the moment, there's nothing major to report on that. Would we take the fight? Absolutely. I think Jake would be... my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signs a fight against Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind he would do something like that. Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but size is a problem. Just be, if Jake Paul would take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow, because AJ wouldn't mess around, so it would be huge, but nothing to tell you it's close.
The showdown between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is officially locked in for December 19, 2025, at the Casa Center in Miami, streaming worldwide on Netflix. And make no mistake, this is no flashy exhibition. It's a fully sanctioned heavyweight war under Queensberry rules. 8 rounds, 3 minutes each, with 10-ounce gloves. To tighten the matchup, Joshua has agreed to cap his weight at 245 pounds, far lighter than his usual fighting weight. With both men risking their professional records, this fight carries real stakes and real pressure. A clean knockout, a career-altering loss, and a definitive result are all absolutely in play.
Jake Paul will face the 2-time unified heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua on Friday, December the 19th in Miami, Florida. It's going to be an 8-round fight with 3-minute rounds and 10-ounce gloves. It's Joshua's first fight since being knocked out by Daniel Dubois in September last year. Jake Paul won a unanimous decision against veteran Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. earlier this week. Well, Jake Paul said this: a professional heavyweight fight against an elite world champion in his prime. When I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt disappears and no one can deny me the opportunity to fight for a world title. All my haters, this is what you wanted. To the people of the United Kingdom.
The boxing world has exploded with opinions on Jake Paul calling out Anthony Joshua, and most fans think he's reaching way beyond his limits. Many see the move as bold but wildly unrealistic, arguing that challenging a seasoned, elite heavyweight like Joshua is less ambition and more outright overconfidence.
Right, the real deal respond to me as I tweeted my thoughts about delusion, which again I think is more about what Jake said about Anthony Joshua and what he'll do to him. That was the more delusional aspect of this. Amanda Serrano said, Jake Paul is the truth. Funny, they say he's a fraud for wanting easy fights. Then he asked for the toughest fights ever, and they say he's nuts. Listen, he was scheduled to fight Canelo Gervonta And now he's calling out Joshua. Come on, who else is doing this? Oh, crap, on second thought, he is out of his freaking mind. You're right. That was more of just Amanda backing her guy, you know what I'm saying, the co-founder of MVP and someone that...
But Dave Allen issues a serious warning, insisting that Anthony Joshua risks damaging his legacy by accepting a fight with Jake Paul. He argues that if Paul even manages to land one clean punch, it could cast doubt on everything Joshua has achieved throughout his career. To Allen, this matchup feels driven far more by entertainment hype than genuine sporting merit, and he questions whether Joshua would truly want to gamble his reputation on such a spectacle. He believes hardcore boxing fans would see this as a step backward and that Joshua could lose a measure of respect for stepping in with a YouTuber-turned-boxer like Paul.
Lost to Tommy Fury. Anthony Joshua cannot box Jake Paul. Horrific. Dangerous for one, and two, if Jake Paul even lands a glove on him, it just diminishes everything that he's achieved. Jake Paul won't last 2 minutes for me. Never mind Anthony Joshua. It's ridiculous. It's a joke.
If AJ does say yes to going in against Jake Paul, does he harm his legacy?
I would lose a bit of respect for him. I think a lot of boxing people would as well, to be honest. Why would he box him? 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, one of the best heavyweights of the last 20 years, held British boxing on his back. People might say he deserves to box Jake Paul. But why though? Why would he do it?
Did you lose respect from when he fought in Ngannou? Did you lose respect from Fury when he fought in Ngannou?
Ngannou's a serious fighter, man. World champion in mixed martial arts.
It's a worrying thing, potentially, the damage that AJ could do to Jake Paul.
He'll hurt him. Yeah, Jake Paul is a cruiserweight. You wouldn't put the Midlands area cruiserweight champion in with Anthony Joshua. So why would you put Jake Paul in there? Just because he's a superstar? Whatever. I don't know what he does. What does he do? What is he?
A YouTuber.
It's just not worth it. He's got enough money as it is. Why risk all that for a few months? I don't like it. I hope it don't happen.
Since this matchup is set to be a fully sanctioned professional fight rather than a casual exhibition, Roy Jones Jr. has pushed back hard against the idea that Jake Paul could ever become a legitimate world champion. He openly questions Paul's ability to secure any meaningful title, arguing that Jake has avoided truly battle-tested boxers throughout his rise. Jones believes that once Paul steps in with experienced, high-level fighters, they will expose him quickly. While he concedes that Paul might eventually land a title shot, Jones Jr. insists it would only happen under extremely favorable conditions. Overall, he remains deeply skeptical that Jake Paul has any real chance of claiming an authentic championship belt.
Become a world champion?
No.
Why?
I think if they make him fight tough opponents, guys with experience, those guys will beat him. Now, if you catch somebody like himself at the end of their career, or somebody like Tyson who caught it in their career, the chances are much higher. Because now it becomes over 50-50. You got a guy who's better than him, but the age factor. You understand me? And that's the only way to balance it for him to make it a 50-50 fight. Somebody who's on his level at the same age, those guys have too much experience.
Yeah.
You understand me? So he's not going to beat those guys. But you find a guy who is past his prime, who has a mentality further than his, but past their prime, it kind of even.
Many voices across the boxing world have shredded the idea of Jake Paul stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua, calling it dangerous, delusional, and downright disrespectful to the sport. Eddie Hearn has repeatedly dismissed Paul as an average fighter, mocking his claims of beating world-class names like Canelo Alvarez. Simon Jordan has gone even further, calling the matchup a mockery that puts Jake's physical safety at risk while cheapening Joshua's legacy. Veterans like Derek Chisora and Lawrence Oakley warn that ranking or rewarding Paul off fame instead of merit is an insult to real fighters who grind for their positions. Even MMA names like Darren Till believe Paul is stepping far beyond his level, calling Joshua chinless and skill-less just to stir attention. And while a few, like David Benavidez, admit Paul brings excitement and big numbers, most purists see this fight as another spectacle that threatens boxing's credibility. The truth is simple. If Jake steps in with Joshua, he's playing with danger, legacy, and respect all at once. So what do you think? Jake Paul challenging Anthony Joshua? Smart move or career suicide? Tell us in the comments, smash that like button, share the video with your boxing family, and subscribe for more explosive breakdowns.